Good evening and welcome back to another review by DWC, and it's a Spitfire 91. We're going back in time for this one, the AA 31908, the Corgi Aviation Archive Supermarine Spitfire Mark 5B, W3848, marked up as JU-H of Sergeant Peter Durnford of 111 Squadron, Debden, of course in its glorious night fighting scheme, and of course an Essex boy as well. So one to get into. Let's have a look at it before the retooled Mark 5's out, and we can talk through some of the reasons why it's being retooled. So this was the 8th release in the Mark 5 range, which is astonishing really how many they knocked out in the early days. I was a little bit battered, I only paid 15 quid for this. So the old style aviation archive box with the old style Corgi motive. But not much has really changed. The difference being is that in them days, Corgi actually put the up undercarriage in its rightful place, and the limited edition was basically the stand. So there's no real detail on the aircraft itself. Again, just to open it up, it's the old style stand, which isn't my favourite, but there you go. So let's get her out of the box and put her on the stand. So she is out of the stand, and on a stand, as you can notice, the aerial has managed to pop off, and that's going to have to be a little bit of a repair, but I can do that, not a problem. So let's talk about some of the issues with it. Well, first and foremost, if you look at the Spitfire like that, you should have some bend in the wings. As you can see, it's flat as a hurricane, and the propellers are just so wrong in so many levels, too wide, almost like boat paddles. So they're the two real main reasons this needs to be retooled. I don't think it looks too bad from the top. The elliptical wing is pretty prominent. The overall paint finish is always really good. You can't really go wrong in an all black one. The only issue I'd say with an all black aircraft is if it has been displayed, it's really difficult to get any dust off. And this is obviously a pre-displayed model, which is a shame. But the scheme is very good. The canopy looks about right. The side profile don't look too bad. Maybe the nose is a bit too droopy for the purist among us. I'd say actually, yeah, the nose is probably wrong as well. I mean, like I said, the real Spitfire aficionados will be able to tell me if that's the case. But it's just not right, and it needs a big reworking. And if they can do what they did with the Mark 9 and make some dihydral there, then great. But then the TR9 doesn't have any dihydral. Let's get her on her undercarriage, and we're talking a little bit about the history of the aircraft. So a little bit about Peter Durnford. He was posted to 111 Squadron on night fighting duties, or SMAC as it was known, and based out of relatively locals here, RAF Debden in Essex. He got one victory with 111 Squadron before being posted to 124 Squadron, where eventually he was shot down over the channel and drifted ashore into France, but was caught trying to sneak into Belgium, and ended up spending the remainder of the war in Stalag Luft 3 before being liberated by the Russians, and then returning to 124 Squadron to fly on Tempests and Meteors later. So quite varied history there of the pilot. So the Mark 5 Spitfire, as we know, is being retooled by Corgi, and hopefully at some point in the week commencing the 27th of April, we'll find out in the new Corgi catalogue, which should be released, and hopefully we'll get our first scheme there, but plenty of great schemes to be had. I'm hoping personally they do something like EP122, which is in the sort of temperate sea mortar scheme, or EP120, which is the Fighter Collections Spitfire Mark 5, but plenty of options, including AB910, the BBMF schemes. Obviously the new scheme is in, was fantastic. Mabel, which flies on, you've got desert ones with the Vokes filters. There is a whole multitude of great aircraft they can do. Hopefully they're not repeating ones that have already been made, because I feel a little bit pointless and a little bit cheated. But lots to work on in terms of getting the wing profile right is the main thing for me, and of course in this case the propeller as well. But there's so many beautiful schemes to be had, and the baby Spitfire, the Mark 5, is often regarded as the nicest aircraft of the series to fly. Not the best, it was massively outperformed by the FW190 and the later model ME109s, and you know, quite concerning period, that sort of 12-month period where they were being outfought and and outscored, especially over occupied Europe, before the Mark 9 burst on the scene, and of course later the Mark 14s and whatnot. But Corgi have got a big job in their hands, but I'm confident they can get it right and then complete the really nice series of aircraft. Having a good 1, 5 and 9 and 14 is a great foundation. Of course, the TR9 as well is selling really well, so hopefully that will lead to then bubble canopied Spitfires further down the line. But yeah, a nice looking Spitfire. And of course, you like your Spitfires, it's a nice different style one to put on the on your shelf. Let's hope we do see a night fighter again at some point in the future. It's not my first 5 aircraft I would go after, but I'd love to see it done. I'd love to see one fly in this scheme as well, especially alongside the Battle Britain Memorial Fly Mark II Hurricane as well. Right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. We'd be really grateful for all your help. And we'll see you soon. Take care.